Oh, it's a rough one. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you lot I can talk. One take, different format. I hope you guys are doing well. I really do hope that. As you can see, this isn't like a normal Chelsea news video. I'm at my desk, I did on match reviews on here on Football Therapy and how I do my videos on Football Yannick, my other channel. Link in the description. This is a rough one. Marc Guehi to Crystal Palace. So say the reports from The Athletic. Oh man, this is deflating because this is just yet another super player from Chelsea's academy going elsewhere. Chelsea will look to, make purchases elsewhere, spending 30-40 million on certain players when they have incredible young talent proven in English football. This is coming from The Athletic. I'm going to read through it quickly. I urge you guys to go check out The Athletic. Obviously, it's behind a paywall. Usually, I only read a little bit. I might do that for this article. But I want to give you my opinion on it and talk about where Chelsea really are going with this model that they have of selling off all their young talent. Crystal Palace are close to completing the permanent signing, not loan, of highly rated Chelsea defender Marc Guehi on a 5-year contract, with the England under-21 international having a medical today. His medical at Crystal Palace for a permanent transfer is today. The 21-year-old is a product of Chelsea's academy, and they were reluctant to sanction his sale. However, Palace presented a proposal that the European champions felt was too good to refuse. As The Athletic reported in May, Guehi's market value was expected to be around 15 million to 20 million pounds, and Chelsea have managed to negotiate a sell-on clause and matching rights on a future move. Palace were in the transfer market for a young centre-back, and their sporting director, Dougie Freedman, has led the pursuit of Guehi, who spent last season and a half on loan with Swansea. Man, okay, we're going to keep reading for a bit, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts, because it's frustrating and upsetting. There was significant interest in his signature, particularly from sides in the Premier League and the German Bundesliga. The Germans are always after the English talent, I swear, the young English guys. But most admirers favoured a loan with an option to buy, whereas Palace were prepared to invest heavily and emerged as the best option for Chelsea and the player. If Guehi was to embark on a third temporary spell away from Stamford Bridge, Chelsea would have likely wanted to extend a deal that expires in 2023 and refused to include a purchase option. Among his suitors in England were Southampton, would have been good as well, Brentford, good team, Norwich, Gilmour's there, West Ham, high-profile team, West Ham, they're in Europe, for Christ's sake, that's a really high-profile destination. Newcastle, and Borussia Mönchengladbach, Stuttgart, Bayer Leverkusen were all other potential destinations. And like I said, Bundesliga clubs, German scouts love young English talent. With 2 years left on Guehi's existing contract after Chelsea triggered an extension, a decision needed to be made, with all parties recognising the time has come for him to be playing top-flight football. Palace became the choice. Man, it would be their third summer acquisition after the arrivals of Olise and the goalkeeper Remy Matthews, and an indication of a major backing for the new manager Patrick Vieira. Okay, there's a little bit more in the article. I'm not going to read it all. I'd suggest you to go and check it out. The Athletic. I'm obviously not sponsored by them, but I feel it's only right that I don't read the whole article. But basically, I will say as well, they're also looking to bring in Conor Gallagher from Chelsea. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. Only recently, in terms of top-tier talent that look like they can perform in the Premier League, Tariq Lamptey obviously went to Brighton, looked like their best player, and he's a right-back or right-wing-back. Absolutely insane. Obviously, I understand it. He's behind Reece James. And he deserves to be starting in the Premier League, and it doesn't look like Reece James is going anywhere soon, so Annoying, sad, but I get it. And the fact how Lampard gave him his debut against Arsenal, it gave Chelsea the opportunity to sell him for a decent amount of money. Great, you know, in the end, it's sad that we lost him. For Kaya Tomori, it's a bit of a heartbreaker, especially after he connected to so many Chelsea fans, playing in the first team in the Premier League, in the Champions League. Such an intelligent, nice young lad and good at football, really athletic. Obviously, permanent transfer to Milan. That hurt a lot of Chelsea fans. And they've done it again. Marc Guehi, like, I've watched him a bit. I've watched him in the latter stages of playing for Swansea. And, you know, I, as someone who talks to a lot of people who are massive Chelsea fans and watch all the players closely, it's the common consensus that this lad was the one that could come in. That could come in and maybe play straight away or in the squad for Thomas Tuchel. Failing that, a high-profile Premier League loan, like, when I say high-profile, I mean, like, not necessarily a struggling team to stay up, but Palace would have been a good loan. But a permanent transfer, having his medical today, like, it's just pretty, it's pretty heartbreaking, man, because what are they going to do? They're going to buy a new centre-back that costs £40 million, you know, that might have never had to deal with the speed and physicality of the English game. And you've got someone like Marc Guehi was winning man of the match in both semi-finals at Wembley and the playoff finals. You know, and looks an absolute baller. If Lampard, this is not me saying I miss Lampard or Lampard needs to be at Chelsea, but in terms of the psychology, he would have said to Chelsea, bring him in, I'm going to use him. Do you know what I mean? The same way he did to Gilmour, Reece James, Tomori, Abraham, Mason Mount. You know, he gave Lamptey his debut and all the others. Now, this is nothing against Thomas Tuchel. I don't think it's anything to do with him, to be honest. I love Thomas Tuchel, and I'm so excited he's Chelsea manager. I'm just talking about this sort of mentality and view towards youth players. And it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. Because who's next? Conor Gallagher. They're talking about they want Conor Gallagher. A lot of people see him like as an incredible talent. An incredible talent that, yes, it will be difficult for him to get in the first team, but he's so young and his trajectory's just gone bang, bang, bang. Give him a Premier League loan and then see what happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, loads and loads of... I'm not saying Conor Gallagher is definitely on the conveyor belt to go out next, but loads of Chelsea fans rate him so highly. And as much as I love Ruben Loftus-Cheek, if you think, right, who's the most valuable asset to keep now that could, you know, that could thrive moving forwards, a lot of people would say Conor Gallagher because he's that much younger, and his trajectories, you know, he hasn't had that injury. He's looking really, really like high octane and exciting as an attacking midfielder. You know, give him one Premier League loan, and who knows, he could be good to go in the Chelsea team. And say he could be next, you know, and then what next? Does Billy Gilmour leave? You know, does Billy Gilmour have a successful loan at Norwich, come back to Chelsea for pre-season, then get a high-profile sale? None, you know, why not? Do you know what I mean? Like, why not? And it could literally be, are Chelsea fans now lying to themselves and like, Gilmour and Ampadu, you know, the future, and Gallagher, the future of Chelsea? People were saying, you know, Guehi and Xavier Mbuyamba, the future of Chelsea, but the truth is they're probably all going to get sold. And Chelsea spend 40 million here and there on players that come in, you know, and either play well, great, or don't, and they're like, you know, your Bakayokos, your Drinkwaters, your Zappa-Costas, you know, to a degree, your Emerson Palmieri's. No disrespect to Emerson as a player, but in terms of how we've utilised him. And the list goes on. You know, you could count 1,000 forwards as well. Do you know what I mean in that list? Chelsea have a illustrious amount... roster of young talent, do you know what I mean? And I guess it's just a business model. Now, I don't want to say this is bad for the youngsters, because I've always maintained this, and I still subscribe to this, that the youngsters get a sweet deal. They're not like having their like hearts broken. Yes, some of them might have ambition to play for Chelsea, then don't. Guehi was a youth player, and now he's about to get a 5-year deal at a solid Premier League club at the highest level. Chelsea have offered him that, you know, and he's been paid well all the way up to getting that opportunity. all these players. Tomori's living it up in Italy, speaking Italian. It's probably a bit of a dream come true for him. You know, he's played for Chelsea. He's doing that. It's not like horrible endings for these kids. It's not negative. It's not like, you know, I don't want to act like it's just the end of it's like apocalypse for their careers. No, they make their careers through Chelsea one way or another. And yes, you could make a strong, firm argument that trying to play for Chelsea for the next 3 years, in and out, a few appearances, a lot of bench appearances, they go, no, I'll just start every game, you know, of the week, to, you know, playing for Crystal Palace and getting paid relatively well as well. Fair enough. So I don't want to say like it's a sad story, it's the end of all things, because it's not. That's simply not the truth. But from a selfish Chelsea fan perspective, you know, just recently, Lamptey, Tomori, Guehi, is it Conor Gallagher next? Is it Ampadu next? Is it Billy Gilmour next? You know what I mean? It's heartbreaking and frustrating. Yes, Chelsea generate money. Yes, if we just get top tier players in and win and everything, I'll forget about it. You know, it will be anecdotal. It will be sad, but it will be like, you know, the business works, the model works. These kids all have careers. They would have no regrets joining Chelsea and developing at Chelsea and getting paid well at Chelsea before their transfer. There'll be no regrets. The only regrets will be other Chelsea fans and their frustrations, and ultimately the negative optics of the narrative, which there absolutely is in this instance. So I'm bummed out about it. It sucks, dude. I want to know what you guys think. Comment down below. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this a bit more like emotionally and informally, so I've done a video like this rather than you know, a standing Chelsea news video. Of course, I do those daily still, but let me know if you enjoy this type of video. I'll be keen to hear it. If you do, comment down below, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and hopefully the next video will be much more positive. So enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.